The Democratic National Convention has wrapped up in the U.S. city of Chicago, with Vice President Kamala Harris formally accepting the party's nomination for this year's election, becoming the first woman of color ever to top the ticket. Harris, who is of Indian descent, only launched her campaign weeks ago after President Joe Biden dropped out of the race, but she has already leaped in the polls with 73 days until Americans take to the ballot box. Benji Hire gets us more.
Harris struck a measured tone on Thursday night, touching upon her ideas for the economy, immigration, abortion and foreign policy. But she did so in very broad strokes. Ultimately, this was more about presenting herself to the nation, her upbringing, her character. Despite her serving as vice president for almost 4 years, millions of voters here went into the convention unfamiliar with details of her background or what she'll offer in office. To win them over, she focused on the language of unity over division, saying she'd be a president for all Americans, putting country above party. As a former prosecutor, she drew a contrast with Trump, a convicted felon. She laid into what she says was the chaos and calamity of his first term, his efforts to subvert democracy, inspiring the crowd to chant, "We are not going back." That swell of support, that momentum, has carried her to a place few expected just weeks ago. But now comes the hard part. She'll have to answer very direct questions about policy positions come the first debate next month with Donald Trump. Well, she'll come up against a man notorious for evading, for disrupting, for insulting, and of course for exposing Joe Biden on such a scale on stage that he ultimately withdrew his candidacy. Benji Hire in Washington, reporting for DD India.